All right. We got lights, which means we're recording. Want to be talking all night? Maybe. Hadn't really decided yet. I'm a little tired from this 10-mile run yesterday. Tomorrow they say it's going to be raining all day. And they may be wrong about a lot of things, but when they say, they usually get the precipitation pretty spot on. Well, it's kind of depressing that I get copyright notices for Hispanic music now too. Everybody wants their pound of flesh. Anyway, at first I was dismayed because I got another summons for jury duty. It's the third time in 2 years. And me being a night owl, I hate it even more because I have to wake up early in the morning, try to get down there, wait around, and then they just let us go. It seems like a serious waste of time. It's so inefficient the way they do it. I'm trying to find a ways out of it and thinking about not even showing up and ignoring the summons, because I have friends that have done that. Okay. Ready. I have friends who have done that, and they got bench warrants on them, but no one can enforce them. So I thought about doing all these things. I don't believe in the system. At least I didn't. And now I'm kind of excited because now I will report. I'm gonna call them up. Find out about something called jury nullification. I think I talked about it last time. And it's not just a means of getting out of jury duty, but it is something that has kind of restored part of my belief in the system. You're not there to follow law, you're there to interpret it. They don't like it, there's nothing they can do about it. You know, they can put you in jail, they can say a lot of things, but it just looks bad, and there's legal precedent for when a guy didn't believe in convicting someone and was put in jail because of it. I'm always complaining about the criminal justice system and the penal system. Well, this is my chance to do something about it. I get picked. It's going to take a whole lot for me to convict somebody. Because conviction is a death sentence, especially in felony cases. I'm surprised nobody's trick-or-treating tonight, because they know, well, it would have been a good night to do Halloween. But anyway, jury nullification. Been doing a lot of research about it, and you want to change the laws in this country, more people are going to start exercising that right. And it is a right. You don't believe in drug laws, get on a jury, don't convict. You believe penalties are too harsh. Get on a jury, they'll convict. Evening. You want to stick it to their fat cats? Fight for the little guy? Don't convict. Or give your verdict in favor. Guy's getting kicked out of his apartment and he's guilty of not paying his rent. Don't vote to convict him. Don't award to the people that to the landowners. You can fight and you can break the system. Jury nullification is how you do it. So like I said, they get me in there, I'm breaking it. I'm snapping it off. I'm sticking it where the sun don't shine. I laugh at little things that I read. When I used to read the news, I kind of laugh at little things here and there. There's a company, what was it called? J something. Bottom line, these people are fleecing prisoners and prisoner families for all sorts of little things in the penal system. They're providing the meals and the commissary and and now they provide tablets for inmates. And the inmates found a way to hack the consoles, and they were taking money away from the company that was providing the consoles. Not only that, where they were getting internet. I crack up the little stories where they try to crack down on these guys, and they try to make these guys lives living hell, and it gets flipped on them. That's justice. No, I'm like, you know what? I'm laughing because there was a dude. God, what was his name? Greg Easterbrook. I used to love his articles. Tuesday morning quarterback. He used to talk about the unified theory of creep. I could have sent that to Greg Easterbrook. Greg Easterbrook is guilty of one thing. He let his opinion be known about something and lost his job. Sad, really. Man, I miss his articles, though. He used to have the funniest stuff in there. Make fun of the logos. Give a little stats here and there, talk about theoretical physics. But the unified theory of creep was about how Christmas just seems to be creeping closer and closer. And looking at that person's house, and I guess they got tired of all the Halloween decorations they see everywhere. Like whoever sold those glowing ghosts, man, they just made a fortune off the people in this neighborhood. First one I saw was up on Midway, and then I saw a whole bunch of other people got them now. I've always loved this time of year because of the cooler weather. And I just love the colors, the oranges, the reds, the yellows. I love autumn colors. Pumpkins, tons and tons of pumpkins. We'll see if I can find me some pumpkin loaf. I want pumpkin loaf for Thanksgiving. Yes, I know we'll have a lot of pies, but I want a pumpkin loaf. Maybe I'll make one. Give me some walnuts. Some assorted chocolate chips. Peanut butter and chocolate chips. Peanut butter and chocolate chip pumpkin loaf. Yeah, that lady had the Christmas decorations up already. I said, okay. I said, lady, I don't know, it could be anybody. Jesus is the reason for the season. I'm sure he is. I'm sure it has nothing to do with gay Roman sex and debauchery. I've been in the funk all year. And the problem is that this year was the final straw. It's just the cumulative effect of so much disappointment. Yesterday was kind of an example of that. I tried to buy a service off the web, but I didn't necessarily trust the person I was going to buy the service from. I wanted to pay in Bitcoin. Not because I didn't want the government tracking me, but because I didn't want this guy being able to have my credit card information, or this site. So I was going to pay in Bitcoin. I bought the Bitcoin. And the place I bought it from said, oh, it's like, you can get it instantly. So I tried to get it, I had to wire it to my bank account. It'll take 7 days for that to clear. Like, motherfucker. In the meantime, the price of the cryptocurrencies are fluctuating up and down. So you buy like $50 worth of this cryptocurrency, and then it might be $26 by the end of the week. Tried to buy it with a credit card. Your credit card doesn't allow you to buy cryptocurrency. I said, okay. You want to do this transaction, we're going to need your driver's license. I'm like, seriously? I've had enough of that. Can't keep going along with all of this. Listen, my depression is environmental. It's not physical or hereditary. This is the depression of being beat down. Not thinking I can take any more of it. Every day, every week, every month is a slog. So I kind of laugh when I'm sitting there nowadays. I look at all this stuff talking about, you need to plan for your retirement. Like, yeah, sure. I don't know if I'm going to be here next year, but I got to plan for the next 50 years. Come on now. I ain't got to do nothing but die. What about stay black and die? Nah, can't even stay black anymore. So that was part of getting beat down. But I will take the time to enjoy this nice weather. I didn't want to be coming out here at 9 o'clock at night. But I started reading up jury nullification and the time got away from me. And I gotta buy replacement lights. It's funny how fast a company disappears on Amazon. Like, you buy the thing, oh yeah, it's supposed to last for 10 years, and that company's gone the next year. Your product might last about 2 or 3. On average, I'm having more products than Amazon lasts about 2 or 3 years. There are exceptions, of course. Like this chest harness I'm wearing. The bracket started to crack on it, and I bought it back in 2015. The light that's dangling here, I bought this in 2015, 2016. It's got tape on it. It doesn't seal up anymore, so water can get in the case. So tomorrow, this thing might be getting wet. I've already ordered a replacement. Because the battery lasts, surprisingly, like I said, the battery's lasted a long time. 3 years for a battery is pretty good. My cell phone's about 4 years old. The battery's wearing out on it. This thing is going strong. It's just the case wears out because the case is made out of plastic. The hinge broke off. So now I'm holding it on with electrical tape. My head strap, I've gone through about 2 or 3 of these. But they're so cheap that I buy like a whole mess of them. I just keep using them. The GoPro showing its age. Where did I buy this GoPro? 2014, thank you. 4 years ago. Battery doors keep going out. For the last couple of weeks, it got kind of flaky on me. Like last week, I was reporting, I went sprinting in the rain, turned it on, hit the button, I heard beep. I said, okay, good to go. It's pouring rain. I can't take my hat off and see if it's actually continuing to record. Plus, I had the waterproof case on there. It recorded for 1 second and then just froze up. It might be the GoPro. It might be the SD card. I don't know. I just know I lost a whole night's work. And it was glorious. The rain was pouring, my fingertips got frozen. It was a miserable night and I went sprinting. Of course, I was the only one out there. Not just the only one sprinting, I was the only one going around the campuses. I wanted to highlight how I saw these people getting in my way. You don't see those people anymore when the weather gets nasty. It's going to start getting colder. And if I start seeing more of them, I'm like, okay, welcome to the brotherhood. I even had a speech about that, the brotherhood of the miserable son of a bitch. Guy said, I don't see how you can go out there and get sick. You know, that's a misnomer. Misnomer, misconception, whatever. Whatever the English term is. Forgive me if my Lexus is weak. But you don't get sick necessarily from the condition, from the rain hitting you and everything like that. What you get sick from is your immune system's kind of weak. As you get sick, there's germs in the droplets. Sometimes that happens, very rarely, because germs don't really live all that well outside of the human body. It's cold, it's nasty. They're weakened too. I breathe through my nose most of the time, so I don't absorb all that stuff into my lungs like other people would, who might breathe through their mouths. I think the other reason that some people get miserable is because their clothes are soaked and their body spends the whole time trying to keep their core warm. And maybe they don't get enough sleep, maybe they're not eating properly. A combination of those things, they get sick. If I wear the right gear, like I said, every part of me will stay warm except for my hands. My hands are just, because of the Raynaud syndrome, the hands just give me a miserable time. So I'm out there in 50-degree weather wearing mittens. People are giving me weird stares, and it's like, I don't care anymore. My hands are warm, that's all I care about. I didn't wear leggings last Wednesday. I thought to myself I probably should have. After the first hour though, I was cool. I mean, literally, but figuratively, I mean, I was in a good state. Wasn't shivering or having any other problems. So I wore the right kind of gear. Just took me a while to acclimate. I mean, I could be out there stark naked and probably do okay. It's just my hands would give me all sorts of problems. I don't particularly like the cold. I see some people out there, they ain't got a jacket on, they ain't got this on. And then I look at them and they're a nice healthy pink color. Big, meaty, like their hands naturally have gloves on because they're just, you know, they have cankles and swollen fingers, sausage fingers. I'm like, that is your Arctic survivor. And I kind of envy those people. But at the same time, those are the people I'll never see when the needle hits above 80. That's the same guy he's a healthy pink in winter, but he's a sweaty beet red in summer. Looked like he's about to collapse at any moment. I was like, you know what, big fella? Not giving you CPR, sorry. Thing about a Nigerian fellow that was telling me about. He said the coldest it gets in Nigeria is about 50-40 degrees. He said he went back home and the people were complaining, oh my God, it's so cold. And he lived in Chicago. He said, this is nothing. They're like, what do you mean it is nothing? He started telling them about Chicago and they didn't believe him. I was just like, man. That's about as Halloween as it gets over that. I mean, well, I don't think it's the same person. It used to be this old lady that was there, and she'd have all she always looked forward to putting the wooden holiday posts out there. I think her son took it over, and he just kind of kept some of the traditions. Well, this isn't the same neighborhood. Oh my God. I didn't know we had a Central Market over here. Huh. Well, shit, I don't have to go to the one over on Preston. I might drop in. Central Market. I'm looking for blue corn tortilla chips. I'm amazed at how hard they are to find, especially in bulk. I guess I should tell Mom they put a Central Market up there. Maybe she already knows. when the original pancake house goes, I think that'd be time for me to leave too. Yes, I've only been in there one time, but it's just a symbol of this area. Used to have Ball's hamburgers, they're gone. Used to have the Albertsons, it's gone. We got a Central Market, that's kind of cool. You've never been there, I know, but I've heard and seen that they've had good stuff. You know, if they put a Trader Joe's close to my neighborhood, then I'll know that everything's gonna be all right. But if I see another El Mexicana, well, still, I talk bad about El Mexicana. My mom was able to find, well, she couldn't find the ingredients for gumbo that she needed for gumbo anywhere else, but she went down there and they had them. They had a good seafood selection. We used to go there to pick up the, you go down there on certain days, I think it was Wednesday, you can get sweet bread. Freshly baked sweet bread. I mean, he'll come. I don't think it's like, well, it's whichever store has, like, it has a bread place and a meat market and all that other stuff mixed together. El supermercado. It's just kind of weird though. I stopped watching the news, and so everybody keeps trying to talk to me about the news. And I have to keep telling them, look, I don't care. Well, this person shot at this. It's like, I don't care. They've been shooting up stuff a long time now. It's just as normal as the weather. And it's become fodder for Thanksgiving now. You get around the table and you argue about how there should be some kind of control, and the other person says no, there doesn't need to be any control. And then you got two people folding their arms, not talking to each other, while dishes are being passed around. That's where your dirty nullification can come into play. You want to do something about gun control? Let more people have lawsuits against gun companies, and start having people on that jury just finding the awarding in favor of the plaintiff. So I know the gun companies have to sit there and start making these huge paydays. What's going to happen about that is the jury's going to go one way. They'll appeal, and then the judge will go back the other way. Well, we have to respect the letter of the law. Like, I understand that, but no, now you're going to have a problem with jury trials where people just start punishing big major corporations and gun companies and whatnot. With the copyright case, I'm going to file against, or I'm going to vote against the copyright holder every time. I don't care about what the trial has to say. I don't care if the guy was guilty or not. And yes, I'm biased because I have run afoul of copyright holders. I'm going to run afoul of one when I post this video. So you're watching my video and all of a sudden there's a all of a sudden 30 seconds of audio is gone, or just audio in general is gone from the video because the YouTube's AI processor doesn't work quite the way it's supposed to. I mean, it's neat, you know, it works on the principle of neural networks and it finds patterns, and it found the song to begin with, but for some reason it can't find a way to take out just that little snippet of audio. So I've actually had to go on the websites. I couldn't even download my own videos. That was the fucked up thing. I put the video up there, and then I was blocked from downloading it. So I had to use a third-party illegal downloader to download my own content, strip the audio out of it, delete the original post, and then repost it. Once again, that's part of my environmental depression. Took me 2 weeks. I pulled about 100 videos, reposted them. And I was reposting something that had been formatted already, so bad video quality went to worse. No audio in it. And I get to the point where I'm just like, one of these days I'm just gonna pull all of my videos. Because I've had enough. Like I said, that's why I need my walks. I probably would have gone crazy and started shooting. Well, I would shoot up a bunch of people. Letting people live their lives is punishment enough. Like I said, I get to the point where I think about mass shooters, and one comes up to where I'm working at or where I'm walking around, I'm just going to walk right in front of the barrel and say, squeeze away, baby. Dead people don't have to work, pay taxes, or deal with the bullshit that I have to deal with every day. My family gets a life insurance payout. Maybe I need to have it tattooed on my chest. If I got killed in a shooting spree, I do not hold any ill will or press any charges against the shooter. He did me a favor. Like I said, people are always saying, it could be worse. I said, you know what, I'm going to say it in another voice. It could be better. It could always be better, man. I'm tired of hearing, well, it could be worse. Like, you keep saying that, and eventually it's like you'll be sitting there in a pile of shit, shackled to the ground, with parasites eating your body day and night, and still bubbling out of your mouth as you're talking through the shit. It could be worse. You're right, it could be much worse than this. We could just be fucking dead. Somehow I think that might be better. remember hearing and reading about them, like I said. Never could understand that. It's like where the dead, where the living envy the dead. Now I get it. Now I get black humor. Now I understand absurd comedy and absurd, I understand all the forms of absurd media. Because life has gotten absurd. All of this just feels pointless now. Pointless to the point of being comedic. Go ahead and run me down, Chief. Coward. You could hit me and run. I don't even have your license plate. I feel like Dabney Coleman in that shitty movie he was in where he was a police officer who thought he was gonna die. But something happened where he wasn't gonna get his pension. He hadn't been on the force long enough to get his pension, so his family wasn't gonna be taken care of. But he found out that if he died in the line of duty, they could get the big payout. So he spends the entire movie trying to get himself killed, and and every single time he tries to get himself killed, he winds up improving his station in the department. He becomes like a hero cop, which is fitting because, like I said, heroes. To be a hero, you gotta die. To be a hero, you have to sacrifice something. Something precious. Anyway, one of the lines in the movie, he goes up after this guy, and the guy keeps chasing the guy down, and he's unarmed. And the guy said, "What's wrong with you? Are you fucking crazy?" He said, "Shoot me." He said, "Come on, you son of a bitch, shoot me." He's like, "No, man, I ain't gonna shoot you." And he keeps running away from him. He says, "What kind of cop killer are you?" And the weird thing is, I think one of the rap groups took a sample of that and put it in their song. What kind of a cop killer are you? Man, that was back when they were putting Dabney Coleman in damn near everything. I think about that now. How did Dabney Coleman get to be like leading man material? He was bald. He had a guttural voice. Wasn't particularly the nicest guy in the world. He was bald. I think I mentioned that before. Had that nasty mustache. And every time I look, there's Dabney Coleman in this, there's Dabney Coleman in that. What? Dabney Coleman's got a sitcom where he was a CEO who became a teacher. I watched like 5 episodes of it. From what I understand, one of the kid actors in it became a major actor later on. It was a Rexford class. I watched like 1 season of Rexford class. Of course, I think it only lasted 1 season, but he had one where he was evening. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Anyway, Rexford's class, he was selling the kids removable Velcro patches for their shirts. Because the principal said that you guys can't wear any shirts that promote this, that, and the other. All I remember was Dabney Coleman trying to read band shirts. He said the Humpty danced. I don't see any problem with this. he says, I tell you what, you kids want this? He says, I have removable patches of all your favorite, you know. And the kids were just like handing over their money. Two guys, of Jeffrey Tambor and Daphne Coleman. He's put Jeffrey Tambor and everything. God, he played the jerk to perfection. He's in Mr. Mom. Look, kid, we're busy. Michael Keaton straightens him out. I warned you. You talk to my kid like that again. He just punched him. Bop! To think of it, that was like the early 80s. There were a lot of bald guys in movies. The president of Schooner Tuna was bald as an egg. I can't remember who the mom was in that one. Terry Garr. I think it was Terry Garr. The hot, ageless Terry Garr. She came up with the idea to give them a discount because everybody was having a hard time during the Reagan recession. So the guy says, we decided to cut our cans by 50 cents because we're all in this together. It was a cool gesture that never happened in real life, but kind of a neat part of Mr. Mom. Like I said, they'll probably remake that movie, but you know, whereas Michael Keaton was capable, but just not used to dealing with his kids, the new guy would just be a complete bumbling idiot. Can't imagine who they put in it these days. I mean, I guess Knocked Up wasn't really Mr. Mom, but some guy in Arrested Adolescence. And the wife will be so super capable, you'll wonder why she ever even bothered to settle with a guy like that. No, I thought I'd be the only person out here. I mean, he went real old school. I mean, the dude was carrying a lantern. I mean, it was an LED lantern, but it was still... And I got mine strapped on. I just came to the realization that I won't be, I'm only going to do 13 miles one time this year. Hopefully I'll be done by the week before Thanksgiving, barring any weirdness. My jury summons also just happens to kick in right around the time my vacation's going to start. In fact, the irony is, it basically gives me one extra day of vacation time. So it was going to be the last weekend before I had to go to vacation, and Thanksgiving was supposed to be, was it Thanksgiving? That's the Thanksgiving week. Fuck, I just realized that. That's when I'm going to be doing my 13. Oh, man. Well, actually, I was supposed to be taking that week off anyway, so... If I get my cards right, it's the 26th. So before the 26th, it was going to be the 7th, so it would be the 19th, 12th, 5th. Okay, so the 5th, which is coming up next Monday, that'll be 11. The 12th will be 12. And then the 19th will be 13. So I'll be cool. Like I said, that's barring any weirdness. That's where the game starts to fuck things up. Somebody had a heart attack. You had a heart attack. Somebody got hit by a car. You got hit by a car. Something came up at work. I know you planned on doing this X many miles, but you got out too late. Whatever. What it then means I won't get my 13 out. That's all it means. The best laid plans. Trying to figure out what I was going to eat on my pig out day, but I guess that'll be Thanksgiving. So, I'll have to be an unofficial judge for the dessert tasting competition. What's our theme this year? I think they went with apples. So it'll be different types of apple desserts. Last year it was cheesecakes. The year before that I think it was pumpkin pie. Or no, sweet potato pie. Those were my sister. She got lazy. So she just got a Patti LaBelle pie. And I was like, what's a Patti LaBelle pie? And everybody just, their eyes beamed. And they showed me that guy on YouTube. That dude had me rolling, man. Patty! Dang, Patty! Oh, my! He started singing Patti LaBelle's greatest hit. There's a man that on the camera at least looks like he's enjoying life. Oh, they repaved this. It has been a while since I've been down here. I don't fantasize as much as I used to about being in a big house, going into a big mansion and seeing what the other half lives like. Because that was me in junior high school. I go visit these people at their houses. These places were immaculate. You go in the dude's room, and the dude's room was bigger than the den. I spent the first 10 years of my life sleeping on fold-out beds. My brothers and sisters were all staying in the house, and there was 5 of us in a 3-bedroom house. So I'd get the fold-out bed, and I'd sleep in the bedroom with my parents. By the time my brother and I came along, the frisky days had long since passed. And if they hadn't, my parents would disappear for weekend getaways. That's how they got intimate. They would just leave, my brother or sister would take care of me for the weekend, and then they'd come back. So I'm hanging out with these guys who their whole lives they had their own rooms. I never really thought much of it. I didn't get my own rooms when I was 17, 18. I shared a room with my brother. You're a teenager sharing a room with someone. It's like, how'd you know crazy jerking off? I was like, I jerked off in the bathroom. That's what a lot of poor people do. Kids in the bathroom a long period of time, you know what he's doing. I was like, you're taking too long. I'm giving you the Hustler magazine. Sorry if I corrupt you too much. Yeah, I'll have a son who can only have sex through weird means, but at least my bathrooms will be free. They had their own TVs and VCRs, which was unheard of. Like nowadays, everybody can have TVs in their room. I haven't sidestepped in a long time. I don't know what they call that when you side skip like that. What's up, girl? You can always tell how bad the year has been by how early the Christmas decorations go up. And like I said, we're not even done with October yet. People are already starting to put up their Christmas decorations. It's kind of weird to get a call and then a text message from my nephew. He wanted to know. Said he was thinking about a career in the IT field. First time I ever heard him utter those words, career. Barely got out of high school, but he did. Didn't go to college. Went into the working world. From what I understand, he does something at a country club. Met a girl, they've hit it off. We have yet to meet her yet, so we have yet to meet her. They come from two different economic worlds, and I'm wondering how they're gonna make that work. Two different races, two different economic classes, and I just cringe. I keep thinking about Cheers. Where Woody Boyd fell for Woody Boyd was dating that girl Kelly, and she came from the upper crust. Come to think of my nephew is kind of like a high yellow Woody Boyd, so. God, Woody Harrelson. Before he became a world famous pothead, he was a world famous yokel. I don't know, world famous desert. I don't know how many people watch Cheers. Probably the only kid watching this show. When I was 15, 16, I started watching it. I loved it. I used to love sitcoms, man. Love Night Court. I wasn't supposed to be watching it, but I was watching it anyway around 13, 14 years old. I was watching Ellen's sitcom. I guess I could have warned him that the IT world's going to change in the next 5 years. With everything moving to the cloud, and the cloud becoming more and more reliable and break-proof, you know, full workstations aren't going to be needed as much anymore. You're just going to have thin clients. And the clients will have just enough storage space to have an offline version of whatever program or application you're running, but for the most part, you'll just be connected to the cloud to do most of your work. Citrix is mostly cornered the market on this. A lot of people, they work and they have their applications delivered from a virtual server that they know nothing about. They save their files on a NAS. I remember 20 years ago I had predicted I said basically I wanted what I was thinking about. You can have a portable, I was saying a portable operating system. You just put it on a card or a stick, stick that in the computer. Back then they didn't have USB sticks, but they had I was like, maybe they'll just put card slots on things. You just stick your card in there, it boots into your operating system, you do what you got to do, and then you take the card with you. And now they have Windows 10 on the go. We're getting more and more into the case now where you don't have to have a machine that just has all this dedicated, you know, brutal hardware. What am I trying to say here? The day of the big towers is gone. These boxes are getting smaller and smaller. In fact, now, you know, the monitor is included with it. The all-in-one. And so I was not wanting to discourage him from that environment, but in the future, a guy will be able to get an IT with just a high school degree. All he's got to know how to do is plug the all-in-one thin client into a network cable, and then have it boot into a server. Maybe it'll be a first-time thing. He pops it on. He powers it up, plugs in the network cable. It comes up and it says, "How do you want to boot this?" And if he's got the thumb drive in there, it'll read the thumb drive. If it tells him boot from Pixie, boot from Pixie. If it says go ahead and boot from the from whatever you got in the UEFI OEM that's pre-installed on this, and it goes off and it connects to something, and he types in a server name, or he types in the web address, logs in, hits a button, and it just says, "Alright, starting configuration." And in the configuration script, it takes the workstation, it joins the domain. That's on the OEM version. It joins the domain and starts loading whatever applications it might need, or just load Citrix on there. Maybe it'll put group policy on your machine, maybe not. I don't know. If it's a BYOD, it's a BYOD office, it'll probably just deliver a virtual workstation to you. If it's one of your campus workstations, probably start loading group policy on there and locking down the machine. That's the future. You just have to know how to connect to the server. Something that goes out on the thin client, we'll just throw another thin client on there. They only cost $100 a piece, or $200 a piece, or whatever. SSDs don't really go out that often, but if they do. We get to the point where we're not even allowed. He won't even be touching the machine himself. He'll know what's wrong with it. But in order to keep from voiding their warranty, he'll have to call the manufacturer, and they'll send some guy out there that's overworked and apathetic to your cause. And he'll just come out there and do the bare minimum and then take off. Well, it worked for me. Yeah, but it's not working for us, and that's kind of the major point. That's too bad. He'll have to pay another $200 for me to come out there. He might be affiliated with the manufacturer, Dell, HP, Lenovo. He might be a freelancer who just happens to have a contract with them. Either way, he won't be a part of your organization. You're the tech, but you can't touch your own equipment. That adds a little bit to my depression, but I hate working anyway, so work in general just adds to the environmental depression. You know all those rights and freedoms that we always broadcast that you can enjoy as an American? Yeah, well, you don't need those here. Just leave those in the car. You're working now, so you do whatever we tell you to do. Do what we tell you to do, say what we tell you to say, wear what we tell you to wear. Workers don't have rights. Once again, that's part of the environmental depression. No, it looked like they were making fast progress on this, and now they just... Of course, I'm asleep during the day, but they had this whole street tore up so they can change that median out. I still laugh about this. Got a bus stop in the middle of nowhere. And now my blanket response is just to say that's American. A lot of people don't walk on this. Nope. So they're going to see my big muddy footprints. They're killing this poor grass though. this also part of your environmental depression? Yeah. Wasting of resources. It serves no purpose other than aesthetic, so they can sell cars. It's ironic you want to have you want to have leafy green landscaping around your place of business so you can sell a vehicle that kills that leafy green landscape. Or sell a product that kills that leafy green, you know. It's funny. You know what trips me out is in all these years they haven't put something up in that corner yet. There used to be a house over there and then they bulldozed that to the ground. Maybe they're trying to figure out how they want to zone this, residential or business. But gentrification's weird like that. Like these used to be car repair places and now they're CrossFit and yoga places. They must do pretty good business though, because looks like they just have daytime hours. You want hot yoga at midnight? I would love hot yoga at midnight. That'd be kind of cool. Walk over here, do my hot yoga, and be all nice and limber and loose and walk back home. Neighborhood on a holiday. I think the dude had a snowman dressed like Elvis, and it was playing Jingle Bell Rock or something like that. And I just had to stop for a second and take a look at it. And I did that and the battery conked out. That was back when I was popping batteries. I was trying to get the maximum out of my battery, and so I would sit there, go in the middle of a jog or something like that and let it drain out and then pop a new battery in, and then I got tired of doing all that video editing. So I try to get the battery to last the entire session. This year he went modest, if the same person still lives there. Pumpkins. Like I said, sometimes I think that's all Halloween should be. It's just have a few jack-o'-lanterns out and some festive, some autumn-colored leaves. Maybe it was this house. Now I'm thinking about it, maybe he was just doing it to stick it to the HOA. It was so tacky, but I had to stop and take a look at it. He says, like that, huh? I was like, yeah, I'm digging it. Oh yeah, jury nullification. An HOA takes the guy to court. I'm not gonna fight. I'm gonna. I'm voting against the HOA. Bottom line is, if I see a big group trying to impose its will on a smaller guy, I'm always gonna back the smaller guy. My job is to use jury nullification to help out the underdog. People say, so you would let mirrors go free? Yeah. I'll say that on camera. Yeah, I'll let mirrors go free. But here's the caveat. Best I'll probably do is second-degree murder. I will never give a guy life imprisonment. I will never give a guy the death penalty. You're a convicted murderer, your life is over anyway. You'll do time for about 10-15 years. You'll screw up in some way. The system will make sure of that, and they'll try to make your stay even longer. You'll have to go on parole in the system. And this is after you haven't worked for 10 years, your skills become rusty or irrelevant. You're completely out of sync with everyone else. You have no money, no career, and every time an employer sits there and tries to hire you, a convicted felon will come up in big red letters. So the damage is already done. No matter what, like I said, in the case of a murder conviction, no matter what, it's a life sentence. Any felony, it's a life sentence. That's how draconian we've gotten. If you're a sex offender, it's even worse, because not only can you not find employment, you can't live in certain places. And you can be a sex offender for a lot of reasons now. Pissing in public, having sex with your significant other in public, having sex with your significant other and you're underage. And I don't mean like an old guy sleeps with a young girl. I mean like a young girl sleeps with a young guy, and the parents decide they want to take it out on each other. You can be a convicted sex offender for sexting. So now we have these small moments where you were a dumbass, and yes, even murder counts amongst that. And you were convicted for life in the court of public opinion. Until that changes, jury nullification. I'm not here for punishment. I'm here for prevention and rehabilitation. And if the system doesn't offer that, then I can't go along with the system. Might ask the question, he'll always ask that question, what do you suggest? You won't like what I suggest. I suggest drug offenses carry fines. That's it, no jail time. convert prisons into rehabilitation centers. Yeah, I know that sounds communist, but who cares? I don't care who branded what, but you know you did it damn well what I mean. I mean, if your guy's got some kind of mental defect, he's gonna go to the jail for a while to get that fixed. He can't get it fixed, then we'll keep him in there. And at that point, it becomes a medical issue. It doesn't become a punishment or criminal justice issue. Rather than have everybody and their brother go to jail, we can come up with different types of remuneration. Bottom line, the ways they can repay society or repay the person they did wrong. Most things can be settled with money. Other times they can just do community service or whatnot. Someone absolutely has to go to jail. They don't. The maximum sentence they could probably serve is 10 years. If you're a convicted felon, the only people that need to know about that are law enforcement. And then it's at the discretion of law enforcement whether or not they want to share that information with certain types of employers. If you're going to be working around kids, yes, law enforcement can tell the guy, okay, yeah, maybe he was a convicted sex offender. If you're just going to be baking bread, your employer doesn't need to know that you were a convicted sex offender. If you were convicted of murder, once again, the baker doesn't need to know that you were convicted of murder, unless you plan on baking people into the bread. I don't want to be soft on crime, I just want to be smarter on it. Everybody's talking about harder this and harder that, and I was like, you know what hard gets you? More hard. I want someone who's smarter on crime, not somebody who's tougher on it. They got harder on crime during the Prohibition days, and all they got were more people shot up. Then they got smart on it, and all they did was lock up a bunch of guys who were evading for income tax evasion. But ultimately what brought down Prohibition was they got smarter on the laws, and they said, you know, we can't enforce this anymore. And that's a lot of what needs to happen. We need to start admitting, okay, we can't, some of the stuff we just flat out cannot enforce. It's killing us as a nation. And until we're ready to have that discussion, jury nullification. I'm not doing this to get out of jury duty, I'm doing this to get out of the system. But apparently I can't just go up there and not say anything and then get on a jury and then later on say, okay, I'm nullifying. It's like, hey, we're going to bring you up on obstruction of justice, jury tampering. I mean, they tried to throw the book at you, man. I was like, okay. But you can't be honest about it either, because if you do, you can't give them too much information, because if you do, then you get struck from the jury. So I'm watching these two groups, they're sitting there, they've got people in the middle sitting there trying to walk that fine line. I want to get on the jury so that I can do this, but at the same time, I don't want to go to jail for it. Maybe you'll have to. And maybe there'll be another guy on that jury. Of course, contempt of court. That's kind of weird. You can't have a trial by jury. It's up to the judge. It's the judge's discretion on that. There's folks that want to change that too. Well, you want to talk about really throwing the system into chaos. Wait. You want to throw this guy in jail because he didn't want to show up for jury duty? No, I don't go along with that. I don't want to show up for jury duty. I hate being here. And then you get the other guy, well, if I had to show up for jury duty, you had to show up for jury duty. It's like, yeah, but you don't have to. I don't? Nope. Well, shit, man, I ain't gonna convict this guy. There goes contempt of court. For all those people that are worried about the Republicans taking over and making abortion, like, you know, or outlawing abortion with jury notification, you can stop that noise. Ladies, get on a jury. Somebody's going after an abortion provider. Jury nullification. I know I'll be practicing that if I get in there. It's like, yeah, we're trying to see if you violated an abortion law. It's like, I don't give a shit. I don't believe in those laws. Because I don't think they're enforceable. Number one, I don't think they're enforceable, and number two, I ain't gonna force anybody to have a kid that they're not ready to have. The last thing this society needs is more bastards. Yeah, it's a cruel thing to say, but it's true. More people who don't have the resources they need to get through life, and then they grow up maladjusted. Say that outright. It's not politically correct, but it is correct. It is technically correct, which is all I care about. I don't need more guys with less, is what I'm saying. Howdy. Give me some love there, I see. Where? They went through the sewer?
And we the dog come out. I said, damn, look at them damn coons. There they go.
Yeah.
I got 3 of them.
See any possums?
Huh?
Haven't seen any possums, have you?
Not really.
Okay, they usually hang around down where I'm living at, so I haven't seen too many raccoons. I've seen.
Yeah, we've had all these goddamn rabbits coming through.
We got coyotes too.
Goddamn, when we moved out over there, I mean,
No coyotes?
now you got 5 of them.
5.
Oh, yeah.
You might have to get some traps then. Are they tearing up anything?
They don't really bother me.
Oh, okay. As long as they don't get in your attic.
No, you know.
Yeah.
But I had put a couple of dogs down last week. And I put all the food over there and I ain't seen them damn raccoons in 3 days. That's what shot me when I opened that door, that they all were, you know.
Yeah.
They done wore that food out. They gonna eat, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Have a good one, buddy.
Take care. See, I don't have raccoons. I got possums and I got coyotes. Well, I see coyotes. I haven't actually had any in my neighborhood. And I got fucking stray dogs. God, I've had fucking stray dogs. I can't stand the fucking stray dogs. It's not that I'm a dog hater. It's just that, like I said, that's one more example of. That's what happens when you don't have an adequate birth control thing in place. Love dogs to death, but a dog that nobody's taking care of becomes a problem. That's just like with my cats. Yep. I have 13 cats because some asshole decided he didn't want to take care of his cat. That's what sucks. That's why I'm, like I said, once again, that's part of my environmental depression. If you work and you're responsible, life sucks. That's weird how he doesn't have any possums though. Man, because this is right. This is this is below the floodplain. Well, I'm sorry, that's the high ground over there, but I guess they hang around down here. Damn raccoons. It's not like he had a Cajun accent. I was just like, that kind of shocked me to hear that, and I was like, no, maybe it shouldn't shock me. That was the one big transplant we got after Katrina, man, was. And my kinfolk, they're just like, we're here to stay. I was like, what do you mean you're here to stay? I said, man, I like Dallas. I was like, okay. I was like, we ain't got jobs like this back in Louisiana. I was like, no, we don't. I was like, no, you don't. Food's not as good. And that's what they were saying. I was like, but they changed that. So now if you want Cajun food, Creole, you want any taste of New Orleans, you can come to Dallas. We got it. I mean, we had it before. We had crawdads before. It's just that we didn't have anybody who could prepare them. Now we got a ton of dudes transplants from Louisiana, so you can get crawdads. You want gumbo? No problem. We got 16 different flavors and growing. We got beignets. We got enchiladas. Someday. I was thinking about that, man. If I had to open a restaurant, I'd probably open a We Never Close here. We Never Close would take off like gangbusters here in Dallas. I know the name of the place is not We Never Close. It's just that I never bothered to learn what the name of the restaurant was. Because he put on the big sign, he put We Never Close. I didn't know it was the name of a guy. He don't own it anymore. He sold it out, and then some East Asian outfit bought it, and so the food quality went down, and when they started losing customers, suddenly they went back to the way they used to do it. But like I said, after Katrina, I don't know if We Never Close is even open anymore. Like I said, I'm doing it again. I don't know what the name of the place is. All they ever called it was We Never Close. You get shrimp po' boy, fried oyster po' boy. They had different types, I think ham, beef, and stuff like that. But one of their signatures was they crammed as much meat as they could in between that. The bread was irrelevant. The bread was just kind of something that sopped up all of the juice and the fried grease. They loaded full of lettuce. Throw a bunch of the fried stuff in there, and then just like pack it closed with wax paper. And you couldn't eat it in the car, because if you did, you'd have a shrimp all over your car. So you got home and you just, and it took me like 5 minutes just to eat all the extra shrimp that came out of the sandwich, and then I finally got to eat the sandwich. Oh, they got a hog's head cheese too. Hot sausage. Oh my god. Oh my god. I want a sandwich now, a po' boy. And I guess I need to tell my mom I want one on Sunday. I want a po' boy. She's like, well, we haven't had a po' boy in so long. She'll get out. She'll definitely get her industrial fryer out. And if I make the mistake of texting it, everybody's going to come to the house to get them a po' boy. We're having po' boys on Sunday. She made beans and rice today. Couldn't pass it up. But what I've learned to do is I've learned to eat like rich white people. Like rich white people, they go to the gourmet restaurant, and the guy says, I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And all of a sudden the guy comes out, he's a molecular gastronomist, and he whips up something, and it's a frozen ball. And when you put it in your mouth, it tastes like peanut butter and jelly. And that's the whole meal that cost you $500. And what I've learned from white people is to sample. And yes, it's rich white people. Sample, 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 sample. You don't need a whole meal. You want peanut butter? You want it? Beans and rice? Fine, you can have beans and rice. Just have a little taste of it. So I put a spoonful of rice, a spoonful of beans, and one cornbread muffin. And that was pretty much my first meal. My next meal is going to be a can of chicken soup with a pack of crackers. And then after that, I'm going to polish it off with my peanut butter and jelly oatmeal. And I'm starting to eat like the guy that I remember when I was a kid. They tried to tell me when I was a kid even how to lose weight. And it was about this, there was a story about a fat sultan. I don't know, I guess we were trying to get international back then, but the bottom line is he was a sultan. And he ate and ate and ate. And the bottom line is he gained so much weight that he couldn't live the life the way he wanted. He was sad, he started crying, and he got depressed. And then when he got depressed, he started eating less. They said instead of eating whole meals, he would eat one bean here, a scoop of rice there, and he was hardly eating anything. And then the Sultan woke up one day and he looked and he was a skinny Sultan. And that was the lesson they were supposed to teach me. But I would try that, and then someone says, no, you can't starve yourself. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. And so for years I'd be like, you need to be eating more. So I'd eat more. Like I said, the secret is calories. It's not a secret. You can't shortcut it. You can't fake it. You can't ignore it. Calories, calories, calories. That's why you can eat a whole lot of salads. You can't eat them with a lot of dressing. You eat a shit ton of salads, man. The salad, you can eat salads all day. Get a big giant punch bowl, fill it with salad, and just go to town. You technically could eat a shit ton of meat. You won't necessarily, like, it'll be a lot of calories, but your body have a hard time making fat out of it. But what you can't eat a whole lot of, you can't eat a whole lot of grains, breads, sugars. So you get like me. Guy doesn't eat a burger, who eats a burger once every 6 months, doesn't drink any sodas. You can't even have alcohol because that's made from grains. Still eat corn chips. I haven't found a way around that yet. I can't stop eating them. And I eat a cookie every chance I get. I don't get it too often though. Cookie is my nookie. If you can't have sex with a girlfriend, you can always have dessert. To be honest with you, I like it more like that anyway. I eat a shit ton of chocolate more than I get more from eating a shit ton of chocolate than I do from dating or jerking off. But you have to be careful. It has to be dark chocolate. Oh my god, dark chocolate. Maybe I'll just start eating artificially sweetened dark chocolate. Yeah, I know that the extreme environmental nuts, they want to say you shouldn't be taking any artificial sweeteners. But if that's what it takes for you to stop drinking soda, by all means, imbibe. Have your Diet Coke. Have your sparkling water. My mother, that's the only thing she'll drink. She's like, well, I'm drinking water. It's like, Mother, it's the sparkling water. But okay, go ahead. As long as you're not drinking soda. Sweetened soda. To her credit, she lost a little weight doing that. She says she doesn't eat, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You know what it is? She eats chips. Starchy foods. Yeah, I just ran 10 miles yesterday. So you hear me if I talk a lot and I'm slow doing my 6-mile walk. And I have to look forward to, and I get to look forward to my hip workout. So the way it works is I do power clean, hang clean, power clean, hang clean, deadlift. If I can't get to the back machine, I'll do the straight-legged deadlifts. Hip flexor machine, and then finish it off with the leg raises. Basically hips and core. It used to be worse than that because I used to do the leg press machine, but now I do the leg press on my squat days. I say it's my I do squat. Do squat days. Front squat, back squat, goblet squat. Hack squat machine basically, because I don't know how to do the other kind. The way I understand it, you're supposed to put the bar under your butt and sit down. But I got a machine that kind of simulates that. It's like the old squat and thrust machines. And then I do the, and then after that I do the leg press. And finish it off with the ab crunch machine. Is it a leg day? I don't know. See, I don't do strictly legs. I do full body lifts. You know, all those old lifts and the deadlift, those are full body lifts. And then you do the squats. Well, yeah, the squat is kind of a leg thing, but the thing that wears me out the most is when I do the front squats, is my shoulders get all, I exhaust the hell out of my shoulders because I got to hold that bar up, especially when I get up to 205. My wrist used to hurt, but I learned how to do it right, and now it's my shoulders that take the brunt of it. Particularly the I have bony collarbones, or I have bony shoulders, so I'm built all kinds of weird. I got narrow shoulders, skinny arms, skinny legs, and a big fat ass. I have a narrow waist now. It's a 32-inch waist. That's narrow for me. 32-inch waist, 40-inch hips. So I can wear like a large shirt, medium large shirt, and then I have to wear like an extra large pants. So it's just I'm just built all kinds of wrong. I was like, who the fuck's doing midnight gardening? See, that's the difference between this neighborhood and the rich neighborhood. These motherfuckers are out here all night. They don't have anywhere to go. I used to think, well, maybe it has something to do with their jobs. I was like, no, man, they're out here at 3 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it doesn't matter what o'clock. And that's why Marsh land is such a mess, because people are driving here constantly. They have to repave it like every 2 years, because these jackholes keep coming up and down here. And I gripe about it because when I was growing up, this place went silent at 11. I know, because I had a night job. I'd come home at 1 o'clock in the morning, there'd be nobody out here. I come back home now at 1 o'clock and it's going to be me and the barachos. And you have seen my driving videos, you know who I'm talking about. The guys just weave in and out, go slow. They're gonna be out here when I take my other driving videos.